we're going to go through Photoshop and we're going to discuss exactly how we're going to make email blasts, which are advertisements for a certain advice, and we're going to do that with our Photoshop. It's a little bit complicated because we're going to make it both animated and clickable, which means we're going to have to open up a few different programs. We're going to start first with Photoshop, and then we're going to jump into Dreamweaver, where we'll attach the actual action script for the image, for the GIF, and then we're going to open that up inside of Microsoft Word, copy actually, and then paste it back into our email. So there's a little bit different stages. So let's start here. What we've got going, we're going to show you first the file. Here we've got the file. You see how it's animated, and if I hover, you see that my cursor has turned into a pointer, and when I click, I jump right to the link that we've added. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to show you how to put that right into the email. So let's open up Photoshop. Waiting. Tick tock. Alright, and then we bring in our files. First we're going to say we have to set this up for web. We want to make sure we're selecting the right choices here. We're just going to go for the common browser size and select that, and it's creating the web file. We're going to go up and import our files. Got here some files pre-made for you, so save some time. We've got the clock hand, the clock face with a non-moving hand, and then our blank canvas. We're going to bring in those. Let's first make a nice pleasant background. Choose something you like, maybe your school colors or so. This looks like a nice periwinkle blue. And I'm just going to grab my clock, drag it, hover over my other tab and place it there. Do the same with the hand. And drop. Now you see when I try to pick up the hand, I'm actually grabbing the background, which is really annoying. So there's a way around that. We just click on the layer in the background, find the lock, and we're going to lock it down in place. Now when I move around on the desktop there, I'm not moving my files. So essentially what we've got to do here is we've got to create each frame of our animation will have its own image, so it will be ultimately with 12 different states with the second hand or minute hand as you were on the 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up through 12. So we're going to have 12 different states, and insert some text. So it's easiest to create. So it's easiest to create all the main things that won't be changing all on the first layer, so that we don't have to repeat that for every single frame, which you'll understand a wee bit later. So let's just make ultimately make our background as finished as possible. We've got our text. Kind of move it around till we feel like it's looking nice. It's really a material for the purpose of this tutorial. Now we'll get a little zoom in here on the hands, and as you see, I'm labeling my hands and my clock. Make it easier. If we've just got the 3 items here, it makes it a little bit better to do if you have a lot of layers, but with 3 things it's not so confusing. Anyway, so we'll make sure we've got the first, the hand, the minute hand or second hand. We're going to make that in the 12 position. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be moving, but we'll just kind of make it look fairly decent. And I'm going to rename that to say duplicate my layer, and then I can say that's 1. And to make it least confusing, I'll actually label 1 and put the hand pointing to the 1, because that makes sense, right? Now I will do that for each hand. I'll go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Duplicating each layer and then naming the layer in the level in which I put the hand. So I'll just go around the clock, as you see, doing that for each layer. We'll just speed this up a little bit. At this point I've got all 12 layers with numbers, but I want to make sure that each hand is in the right position. So I'm going to start clicking on the layers to make them either display or not display by clicking the little eyes. Make sure I've got them all numbered properly. As you see, I haven't, which is easy to do, but we'll fix that up. We'll just move some around, change some numbers, we'll clean that up so that it plays properly. And move the clock away here so that I can see better what we've got going. All right then, so now we've got all of our hands. We're ready to go down to the bottom, and we've actually got to go all the way up to the window button, and we're going to look for the timeline window to open that up. It's in alphabetical order, so we can go all the way down to timeline, click that, and it will open up a window at the bottom. Really mixing my accents up between the British and the Irish and the Australian. Ooh. Alright then, so here we go, all the way down to the timeline, and boom, we've got it. See how to open the window at the bottom. And what we can do now is where it says create video timeline, we want to click that down arrow and say frame animation. I want to create frame animation. It creates our first frame which is exactly what's up here on this frame, on this layer. So if we click on another layer to show that with the eye there, it's going to duplicate that in the next frame, which we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that whatever we've created a new frame down here, we want to make sure that whatever's got the eye on it, that it's what's in that frame. So with each added frame, we're going to change what's visible in that frame. Ultimately, we will create 12 frames down here at the bottom, and we will just go ahead and click on the eyes to make what we want visible. That's the quickest way. And as I click on each frame, we see what's displayed in that frame. So let's run through that quickly. We'll tweak it as we see some errors. And you see it's moving much too quickly, so let's change it to 1/2 second for each frame, which we're going to have to do to each one. And then we'll play it. Nice. Yeah, that's what we want. We're going to go over to the left and make sure also that we've got it going forever, because that's what we'd like. We have different options here to run through it once or whatever, but we want to make sure that it's going through forever. I want it to keep looping. I like it. So pretty much we're done. Oh, logo. Let's add a logo to our file. Search for my logo. Here's the Adobe logo. Let's grab that. Grab it from the desktop and import, or open. In this case, we're gonna open it and pull it in. I'm gonna clean up this white background. Alright, then let's clean this up a wee bit and get the white out of the background. So we're pulling it in now to our project, and oh, it's godly ugly, isn't it? Those colors are horrible. Oh, I'm having some issues here with that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's move it over in the corner. Oh, it's horrible. I don't like the accent. Okay, so now I've got it in the corner, and we're gonna change up this background a little bit because I don't like it. Let's get something a little bit better. Something a little bit softer with that red. So let's select the layer, and we're going to change that color. And oopsie daisy, it's locked. So we've got to first unlock it, then we can change the color. Select a new color and paste. Much too dark. Much better. Doesn't have to be perfect, but at least it's better. So let's move forward with this. We'll just save this. We're going to export now for web, and as we do that, we're going to say save for web legacy. Now we're not going to just simply save this as a GIF. That will be the first step. We'll select GIF. We've only got 3 colors here, grey, red and white, so we can make our size smaller by minimizing the colors here. I could probably even make it smaller, but it's not a big deal for us right now. So when I hit save, I just want to make sure all my colors look alright with this choice of 32 colors. We're going to save it to the desktop so we can find it easily, and instead of image only, we're going to save HTML and images. This is important because we're going to have to attach some sort of action script to it, and you cannot do that to an image. You have to do it to a page with the coding, so we're going to have to do that next step in Dreamweaver. Alright then, there's that, and save that to the desktop, and boom, boom. Alright then, so we're going to open our file. We're going to open the HTML file. Dreamweaver's screen is split. Top is the visual and the bottom is the coding. It's not really important for this purpose. All we're going to do here is click on the image. That's basically what we're going to do to add the URL there as a link. So once I click on the image, I get this small box where I add the URL, in which case I haven't copied and pasted it yet because I'm silly. So let's go back over to our browser and open up the browser to Adobe Education Exchange and copy our URL. Get that in our clipboard and we'll be back to Dreamweaver in no time flat. Again, select our image, and paste our URL. And down here you could leave it none. This is kind of if you want it to open on top of the blank window on itself, so that I hate when websites do that. I like it to open in its own window, but that's your choice. So put in some alt tags for people for accessibility, people who don't see well or need some additional assistance with browsing the internet, and we save it, and that's it. Now we have to open the file in Microsoft Office Word. We open up, what we're going to do is locate our HTML file on the desktop. We're going to go into right click or control click from the Mac. The file will open in Microsoft Word and it will show you the visual image of what we just created. We want to select all, Control C or Command C, and copy all. Once you've done that, open your Microsoft Outlook, or I believe it should work in such as Google Mail, Gmail, or any other mail browser, I think so. But for sure this tutorial is about Outlook, and click in the body of the email, Command V or Control V to paste it, and it should be right there. And once it's sent, and when you receive it, boom, there you see your animated graphic, and if you hover over it or bring your cursor over it, your cursor should turn into a pointer, in which case you can click on anywhere in your image and click it, and it should take you directly to the web page, Adobe Education Exchange. So that's that. So I hope it worked. If it didn't work for you, we'll be coming around. Alright then, ciao for now.